one thing was for sure. They both believed Sparks to be a total tool.
Be an exciting contest which shows that divorced couples can still have fun together, right?
Mythological hero H-list. C. On the spot dice spin.
We are experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by.
Well, it's been 3 years since we last did one, and now it's time to bring it back again. That's right, it's a top 5 worst moments of Hell's Kitchen list. And this time, we're talking about Season 2. Why? Because I have to fill the gap between Season 1 and Season 3. Now, I need to preface before doing this list, only the moments that happened on the show will count towards this list. So the controversy surrounding the show being somewhat responsible for Rachel's suicide will not be talked about at all. So with that being said, Jean-Philippe, open up Hell's Kitchen.
Okay, answer the fucking question.
We keep talking like this out in the fucking parking lot. I don't give a fuck, motherfucker. What do you want me to say?
I ask the fucking questions, you give the fucking answers.
Fuck that shit, dog. I ain't here for that. You want a fucking jacket? You want to talk some shit? Let's go step outside, motherfucker. You want to talk about fucking fighting?
It's a rare occurrence in Hell's Kitchen when you get a chef that goes at it with Ramsay during elimination. Well, nothing will top Joseph's meltdown from Season 6, and I am chomping at the bit to talk about that in a later countdown. The first occurrence of this is in Season 2, during the second to last episode of the series.
Pick it up, what?
I'm here at Hell's Kitchen to prove that someone that walks like me, talks like me, dances like me, acts like me can still hold it down and kill it in the kitchen.
Oh dear, slightly demented.
Keith, aka K. Greasy, was a damn good cook throughout the show. He was so good that he made it to the final 3 of the season. However, things started to fall off during the challenge where Virginia won the Taste It Now Make It challenge. The bitterness of Keith towards this started to really hit when he saw Chef Ramsay showing Virginia pointers on how to run the kitchen in light of the upcoming service where the chefs get a shot at running the pass. While Keith did well with quality checks, he was rather middling at commanding respect from his brigade compared to both Heather and Virginia. He wasn't as shouty as Ramsay would like for him to do, but I thought he did alright. What got to him was how Ramsay was always perceived to have Virginia as his teacher's pet because of her uncanny palate and winning almost all of the challenges single-handedly. What also didn't help Keith's cause was that after he did a stint on the hot plate, his quality in the kitchen just sank, to which Gordon let him know where he was.
I didn't say it was favorite, Chef.
What did you say then?
I thought because of the other plate, that's where the rest of the risotto
plate,
went.
put it in there, and it was still fucking under.
I'm sorry, Chef.
Well, you're not, because it's the attitude, it stinks, and I don't want any more fucking arguing, just 2 risottos, and we can continue, yes? Come here, you. Right now, the attitude you can stick up your ass. Where's the fucking risotto?
I missed it, Chef.
You know what? Apart from take your head off, I'll fucking kick you out right now. I won't wait till the end of service.
He was pushing my buttons, trying to make me talk back to him. He didn't like my attitude, he says, you know what I mean? I try to not have an attitude, but it came out.
This is your night. I said to you at 6 o'clock, you're all fucking even. Right now, you're so far behind you don't know what's going on.
At that night's elimination, each of the chefs were tasked to pick one chef who they thought wasn't ready to lead. Both Keith and Heather picked Virginia because she absolutely sucks on the line, and Virginia picked Keith due to his lack of leadership compared to Heather and herself. Now, what makes Keith furious is that he's seen Virginia as Teflon because she's been put up 5 times before and has slipped away each time. Well, tonight was her 6th time up on the chopping block, and it would be the 6th time that she was saved. Keith gets the boot, but he's not happy about it. He questions Gordon about how Virginia survives, and he goes. After Gordon tells him he just doesn't see him as a leader, Keith lets loose the bomb.
I personally think that you have a hard-on for Virginia. Yeah.
Why'd you have to be so fucking rude?
Cause you're rude to me all the time.
So? Now, I definitely know I've made the right decision. So your attitude does stink.
not have personally agreed with the decision of Virginia, but at least respect Gordon's decision. Not only did that really seal your fate, it really didn't endear you to anybody by doing that. And that would be the end of K Greasy. Or is it?
You two are Hell's Kitchen finalists. Congratulations to you both. I'm really pleased to see you both here.
Thank you, thank you.
When we last left our chefs, Virginia has just dodged her 6th bolt and is in the finals. I'm just stunned at how well she did in challenges, but not that hot on the line. It made me think, why has she yet to go on Top Chef and just dominate there is beyond me. But then again, there's a fine line between a great challenge chef and a great service chef. And that all came apart when it came to the money moment.
Having your own restaurant is not a strictly business operation. You have to be an artist. And I think I might be more of an artist than they are.
Virginia will always be the challenge queen in my opinion. Ever since the taste test, she rocked every single challenge, winning all but one of them. Not only that, she was quite devious. Her mission since Heather got sent to the blue team was to get Sarah out because she hated her for the way Sarah treated everyone. So she told everybody after she got immunity that she wanted to go home when Ramsay revoked the immunity she wanted in the Builder's Lunch Challenge. When her and Sarah were up there, Ramsay kept the immunity promise unless she wanted to go home. Since Sarah was up there, she said she wanted to stay, thus getting rid of Sarah. I say that because that leads up to the final service. After Virginia wins the final challenge, which was a taste test of 21 random Vegas strip goers of a dish, she won first pick of the chef draft for the final service. She picks Keith, which was wise because he was last out and really good in the kitchen. After Heather picks Rachel, she then picks Tom of all people. Okay, that move stunned even Ramsay because you still had Garrett, Sarah, and Giacomo on the board, and she picks the absolute worst chef of the entire season. Heather picks Sarah, and then Virginia picks Giacomo instead of Garrett. I'm scratching my head over all of this because while Keith was the right pick first, the goal was to saddle the other person with the worst chef to make their service run not as smooth as yours. But then when she got everyone up under the dorms to talk, Virginia let this slip.
Alright, I wanted to pick people that everybody thought was weak and see what I could do with you guys.
She figured that she could take the worst chefs and make them the best to impress Chef Ramsay. That's really endearing to tell Giacomo and Tom that they were the weakest chefs and to inspire them to be great. To tell them that they suck doesn't inspire any confidence in them. Keith was brought on to play babysitter and wanted some cash to ensure the stuff would get done. Basically, Keith was holding up Virginia for money because he was brought on to do extra duties than he would have been assigned. Because Virginia was awful on the line, she had no choice but to acquiesce to Keith's demand and say that if she wins, she'll give $1,000 to all of her teammates. The wheels ultimately fall off on this brilliant plan during service when there was absolutely no energy from the team at the start, and everyone on the team fell into bad habits. For starters, Giacomo was holding back the team by messing up on fish, causing the blue kitchen to be held back. When he manages to get it together, Tom does what Tom does best, and that's ruin the service. He also cut himself in the process and had to get patched up before he went back out. Season 2 was just a comedy of errors for Tom. The biggest downfall was Virginia's perfectionist attitude towards everything. Even though she gave her customers good food, it was a complete slog to get to it. So much so that she ran out of food near the end, especially when it came to her snapper dish. She got so frazzled at the end, she even told Keith to stop washing his hands so that he could help get desserts out. That, to me, was the death knell for her. Abandoning sanitary measures to get food out should never be done. At the end of the day, Virginia beat herself in the finals. She purposefully picked the worst in order to impress Ramsay, and it backfired in spectacular fashion. Virginia would get some self-confidence back in Season 10 when she was brought back for our runner-ups versus current chefs challenge, and they won it in spectacular fashion. I mean, it was just incredible to the dearth that they just smoked that season's chefs. So now let's get to moment number 3. And since we just talked about the end, let's talk about the beginning.
Fucking hell, I feel sick. Do you know what? I don't know if I want to go any further, to be honest. Can it get any worse? I'm saying a prayer now. Now I feel sick.
There's a saying that you only get one chance to make a first impression, and if the signature dishes were anything to go by, then Season 2 might have had the weakest bunch of chefs that the show has ever had. I know I railed against Rock's gnocchi disaster in the last top 5 list, but these weren't nearly the level of that disaster. Anyways, Gordon didn't have much hope for them after that, and he clearly didn't have any hope for them when the first dinner service hit.
Chef Ramsay's reopening of Hell's Kitchen has generated as much excitement in Hollywood as a movie premiere.
Beautiful. So romantic in here.
The first dinner service is usually our litmus test on how good some of the chefs are. If you can't hang on your first service, odds are it'll take some serious bouncing back to do just that. Heather and Giacomo didn't really get to show off much because they were made to be the donkeys, i.e. washing up pots and pans and the like. I never got why Gordon does this on the first service. I guess he uses it as some sort of insurance policy to really weed out bad chefs, but it's one of my least favorite gimmicks that the show ever did because it defeats the purpose of Ramsay wanting to have a great service all the time, and yet it takes 2 people out that could have helped the service. Service starts and already we have problems. First of all, we have Paulie in the Red Kitchen screwing up risotto, which still gets messed up in Hell's Kitchen, even with the past All-Star season it gets screwed up. Then we have Tom and Blue serving up raw scallops. Yes, this is Tom's second appearance on the countdown for screwing stuff up, and it won't be his last. After he took an L, he did bounce back and got appetizers out. Paulie didn't bounce back after her L, instead make her second attempt at risotto bland as all hell. What also screwed her was that she completely froze when it came to her times, which is a really big no-no in Ramsay's kitchen. Then things just seemed to fall apart everywhere. For starters, we have one of my favorite things in Hell's Kitchen, the rude customer.
Just serve this table.
Why is there no pumpkin in my risotto?
Right, can you get out of the way? One spaghetti, one risotto? Yes? Oh, are you always going to be that rude and interrupt when I'm trying to talk?
I just want more pumpkin, that's all I want.
Right, well, I'll get you more pumpkin. I'll ram it right up your fucking ass. Would you like it whole or diced? Can we get security and get Knob back to the seat, please, yeah?
And after that, Tom sets his station on fire. It's always like Tom that he'll inevitably screw up. It's like the Miami Marlins after 2003. They'll show flashes of brilliance, but will just screw it up and set their entire team on fire. Speaking of flashes of brilliance, Paulie screws up for the 4th time and is made the donkey, to which Heather comes swooping in and starts getting apps out. Sarah decides that it's worthy of a celebration. Anyways, Tom decides to turn us off prematurely. I don't know why he did that, but it's Tom being Tom. For the home stretch, we have another staple of Hell's Kitchen being screwed up, the Wellingtons. Gabe and Blue stalls out on him, but does manage to get some of them out, so at least he has some resolve. Virginia, on the other hand, in the Red Kitchen, ruined every single Wellington they had in the kitchen. Now that takes some special type of talent to do that. It gets worse when Red runs out of lamb stock, and Virginia has to go to the Blue Kitchen to get some, but they shoo her away. And then we have this.
3 hours into opening night, customers have received plenty of wine, but very little food.
I want my food. I want my food. I want my food.
I can't take any more. Shut it down. Stop. Turn it off.
Gordon is shutting down the kitchen tonight.
Not what I call fine dining.
And that ends the first service. You know it's really bad when Tom is considered to have done something right in the kitchen. Anyway, Red loses and Paulie goes because she was a complete non-starter in the kitchen. And that was the tale of the first service. You know it's really weird when Tom is found to at least do something right. It really isn't like Tom at all to do something right. Anyway, and it also shows the resolve of bouncing back because Virginia went from being nominated in the first episode to getting second place in the season outright. I guess everybody finds their niche somewhere. Oh, number 2.
I've now decided to let both teams take control of your own menus. Now.
One of the staples in any season of Hell's Kitchen is when teams get to design the menu for a service. This allows the chefs to show off their creativity and passion in running a kitchen. For season 2, it was a tale of 2 kitchens. The Blue Kitchen made a good menu and just rocked it, with some glitches by Garrett, but they got worked out. The Red Kitchen's menu, though, is a completely different story.
It's the Blue Menu against the Red Menu. This is your moment to shine, but it's my standards. Any questions?
No, chef.
Let's go.
While I said that the donkey thing in the first service is one of my least favorite gimmicks, this is my absolute favorite. It's the perfect combination of teamwork and execution in the kitchen. So let's talk about all that went wrong from start to finish for the red team this season. Firstly, the aim is to show off all three of the chef's strengths in the menu. Virginia tried to show off her range by having sashimi on the menu, and Sarah had this lamb dish that she was sure would rock. While Virginia and Sarah were flexing, Maribel did nothing, as Sarah and Virginia just shut her down because her stuff was basic. I should make note here that Maribel at the time was feeling really homesick. She missed her kids so much that a lot of time was devoted to this during the previous day's episode. She was absolutely ready to give up and just go back home to her kids, but something was holding her back. Maybe it was her kids and wanted to fight for her kids, but it just didn't come across in the aired episode. Now we get to the service and everything just falls apart for the Red Kitchen. The main appetizer for the red team was Virginia's sashimi dish. You'd think of a sashimi dish, you could get that out quick and get everybody ready for a good entree. But then after Virginia's knife cuts go to thicker and thicker to the point where it became too thick to be a proper sashimi, it took the chef Maribel to help Virginia get her dish out. Ramsay was none too pleased.
A little difficult.
Virginia.
Yes, chef.
Look what you're sending me. Come here, you. It's just getting thicker and thicker and thicker.
All right.
It's just fish sliced.
Yes, chef.
That's all it is. It's raw fish, fucking sliced. We still can't get that out.
I used to make sushi and it's easy, okay?
And things only get worse. This is the main problem with a very complicated and overly ambitious menu. You have to get every single part of it right or the dish just falls apart. That's exactly what happened with Sarah's lamb. When Sarah's rack of lamb was being an appetizer, she needed to get them out and fast. However, she overly complicated the lamb and ruined them. They were either overcooked, undercooked, underseasoned, or just plain bad. She got a grand total of 0 lambs sent out. Her signature asset to the menu was so bad that Ramsay ordered to be taken off the menu. This is the first time a team's menu item had to be discarded forcefully. The last straw was the salmon dish that Sarah designed. She thought that tying up the salmon with all these herbs would work. Maribel couldn't figure it out, and Sarah was read the riot act.
You don't tie it and fucking stuff it together.
No,
That's the third dish from the red team that is totally unpractical. Can we just cut the salmon into a slice without fucking around, stuffing it? Yeah.
Consistency?
Don't fucking dare. Don't fucking dare. Missy, come here, you fat-mouthed little stupid bitch.
Yes, chef.
You're pissing around with something that's not working.
Yes, chef.
Have that fucking clicked?
Yes, chef.
It's fucking red! Just stop. Blue team, come here. All of you.
It got to the point where Ramsay just gave up on the team and they couldn't get any entrees out whatsoever. When we get this far into the game, there's no excuse for having a service worse than the first service. And when the team is controlling their own destiny with their own menu, it got so bad that the blue team had to come in after finishing their service and save the day. The absolute worst service of any team I've witnessed in 17 seasons in the menu battle goes to this team. Well done. While the menu battle was nothing short of a complete disaster this year for the red team, this is the ultimate disaster of Hell's Kitchen for Season 2. Are you ready? It's really rare that I would find something in one episode that will give me multiple moments to put on the list. I did find it when I did the first season's list, where 2 moments from Season 2 stuck out. Where Dewberry left his station, and we got the pizza moment, which is one of the worst moments in Hell's Kitchen history. But there was one episode in Season 3 that had so many moments that I had no choice but to lump them all together into one part. Ladies and gentlemen, the worst moment, or collection of moments in this case, is Episode 3.
With Chef Ramsay's unexpected dismissal of Gabe, both teams realize that anything can happen in Hell's Kitchen.
This had everything that someone who wants to see the worst that a chef can be in Hell's Kitchen. For starters, we have a communication challenge. challenge was to cook the chicken, salmon, and tortellini dishes off the menu in 20 minutes. One chef would start, and after 5 minutes would have to switch with a team member. For the first 15 seconds, the first chef tells the second chef what has to be done, and they have 5 minutes to continue to prep and cook the dishes. Sounds easy, right? Well, things immediately go wrong when the word tortellini is mentioned. Firstly, Tom tries to get away with using an old tortellini from last night's service, which is immediately spotted by Chef Ramsay and spent the majority of his time making ones from scratch. He then misled the rest of the team into making their own, as all 4 team members made tortellini. This mishap led to another bad breakdown in communication, and that's Tom's fault for not telling the rest of his team about the sauces for the dishes. The red team actually managed to do it worse. Rachel forgot to tell anybody on the team about the tortellini, and thus both Maribel and Sarah didn't even know that was part of the challenge, so they only cooked the 2 other dishes. And yet, the girls still won because of lack of communication from the men. Also, Tom gets a righteous bollocking from Gordon.
May I speak?
No tortellinis.
May I speak?
On the red team. May you speak? May you stand up straight and stop acting like a slob?
No,
cut the fucking bullshit, will you? Just stand up straight and at least look like a fucking cook.
Yes, chef.
Do I slouch and slub and talk like this, like some big fat fucking slob?
Who do you think you're talking to?
He doesn't want to get in a street fight with me, trust me.
Next up, we have some casual sexism on the menu in Hell's Kitchen. During the men's punishment of having to do the laundry for both teams by hand, Tom says this.
The women should have lost this challenge. And I'm not being sexist, but women do the laundry better than men.
And if that wasn't bad enough, Garrett wins the Male Chauvinist Pig of the Year award by telling Heather this.
I want to keep talking. Y'all women have dinner ready for us men when we get home from work.
Garrett turns and says, go home and cook our dinner like women should. And that just completely struck a chord with me.
Seriously, what is up with both of them? Look, I know that these type of attitudes permeate the restaurant biz, but both of them are clearly doing it to rile up the women. It's not a good sign, as they use that as a rallying cry to destroy you. Oh, and spoiler alert, Heather won the season, so that was a rallying cry for her. Then we get into service, and we get our third appearance by Kay Greasy on the list, as he decides to abandon all semblances of sanitary measures in the kitchen by handling rice with his bare hands. While the customers didn't see that, what they did see was his underwear. If I'm a customer in a fine dining restaurant, I really don't want to see anybody's underwear when I'm trying to eat. But then we get to the money moment on this list. The first step when you're trying to cook anything is to make sure that your ovens are working and generate heat. Enter Giacomo, and this exchange between him and sous chef Scott.
Chef, why this oven is cold? It's coming out cold.
You just noticing this now?
No, I noticed it earlier.
Dude, you don't have the fucking gas on, stupid.
Why is the oven not on? Hello, dirt brain. Why is the oven not on?
I'm not sure, Chef. I'm sorry.
You're not sure. You donkey!
Things don't get much better for Giacomo as he just flops hard on meat and is moved to fish so that Keith and Garrett could try to get stuff out. I think the problems were just in the blue kitchen. Now let's talk about Maribel's performance on red. She was having a really tough time with her Wellingtons. So much so that one of her tables had threatened to walk out if she didn't get an order of Wellingtons out. Well, as hard as she tried, it just didn't come together and the customers did walk out. I'd like to think this is the point where things started to fall apart from there. She seemed like a nice person, but things didn't just work out for her in Hell's Kitchen. But then we wrap up this cavalcade of crappy moments for our old friend Tom. Him and Giacomo messed up so much they just ran out of everything. I have in my notes that he sincerely lacks everything. Potatoes, common sense, talent, everything. With 3 exclamation points, by the way. Gordon was so furious that he basically went into Marco mode.
How many Wellingtons were you sent? We've only sent 2 fucking tables of main course, Keith.
We prepped them. I don't know where they went. They said they burned them.
Have you burnt the potatoes?
This I did, yes.
You stopped caring now, haven't you?
No, Chef,
I can see it in your
no,
attitude.
You know
Yes,
what?
you
I
fucking
haven't.
have.
No,
You
I
stopped
care.
caring now. What do you care about?
I care about making an ass of myself right now.
Really? Hey, congratulations.
I did.
That's exactly what you're just doing.
I know.
So to summarize, tortellinis were tortured, Tom and Garrett's sexism ran wild, Giacomo had no gas in the tank or in a stove, Maribel's Wellingtons were anything but well executed, and Tom proved that he had no business inside a kitchen. And yet, Tom survived. Giacomo was given the boot because of the stove incident. I'll never understand why Tom survived the first 2 times he was put up. At least we got some memorable moments from him. And there you have it, your fill of donkeys for Season 2 of Hell's Kitchen. Now, I know what everybody is thinking. Tom had so many moments on this list that he didn't make the list proper. Well, I just figured he had too many awful moments that it would just be unfair for me to put him on the list proper. Because he was so historic in his badness, for the first time in Hell's Kitchen Top 5 Worst Moments history, I am bestowing a grand honor. The first member of the game show garbage all embarrassment team for Hell's Kitchen goes to Tom Pauly.
You win!
So congratulations, Tom Pauly. May you come forth and grab your application for Worst Cooks in America. Well, that's gonna do it for me. Until next time, bye-bye.